Might be like, what the? Oh, I'm live. I'm just trying to do my lighting, which I guess I should have done before I even turned the thing on. But the usual. Not ready. Oops, stickers. I don't want that to glare on you guys, but I don't want to turn all my lights on because Cassie, I don't want her to get disturbed. So I think this is good. I'm listening to Jared Mello on the radical. Hang on, it's Jared Mello. I don't know, Jared, why I mess up your channel every time. Hang on a second. The Wizard of Radical Self-Respect. So he's a night owl. So he does night owl shows, which is great. He gets a pretty good audience. So they're talking about the. What are they talking? Oh yeah, they're talking about Sheriff Nanos. You know, and his screw up of the Nancy Guthrie case and all the other stuff. It's very political. Right now he has Phil. Oh, what is Phil spelled Fil? He's always on Surviving. Him and oh my God, I'm like tired. It's time for bed. Way past bedtime. I got to get up in a few hours. I just wanted to pop on and just talk about what's coming up. Um, Phil, oh my, he's on Court TV a lot lately. Right now, I think he's on Brian Enton. Is this a Brian Enton thing? No, he's on Matt Johnson because all the anchors on Court TV were let go. Um, I probably talked about this that Court TV um, was sold to Law and Order and Jerky, or not Jerky, but some other, firm or whatever. But Long Crime with Dan Abrams, who owns that network, whatever. They purchased Court TV, so they let go, except for Vinnie Politan because he's like a partner in the revitalization of Court TV, and also Ted Daniels. They didn't get let go, and also Cody Thomas. He's a new reporter on Court TV. They didn't let him go, so now he's sitting at the like anchor desk, if you want to call it that, on Court TV. Who else? I mean, and they have like one field reporter. So, but they're doing. I don't know what they're doing right now. I guess they haven't. I haven't watched Court TV, but I don't know what program's going on right now. Somebody said it's just repeats, but Vinny has his own YouTube channel, um, personal YouTube channel, but it ties into Court TV. But he talked about what's happening, and he said that they have all these big plans. Yeah, they let Julie Julie Grant go, Julia Janae go, uh, the judge Michael Aiello. I'm probably butchering their names. Who else? Uh, they let everybody go except for, like I said, Vinny Politan because he's a partner. So I don't know. Vinny's saying, "Don't worry, it's going to be great. They're not going to let it go." But this is exactly what happened last time when a new company took over and they started chopping away at HLN and splitting stuff out and Court TV, and then it was True something, and then they finally just got rid of Court TV. So he's going on saying it's going to be great. It's going to be. They're not going to dump it. They're going to keep it. They're just going to make it better. Um, yeah, famous last words. And then next thing you know, no more Court TV. But not that I Not that I watched it all that much. It was on over the air, so I was watching it at my other place because I was able to get it over the air. But here I can't. I don't have cable. Um, I do have Roku, so I'll stream some stuff. You know, Tubi and stuff like that is free. Roku channel is free. So and I have my one subscription to Stars that I prepaid for the year because my Outlander that I have to watch, and it's only two more shows left. What else do I do? Oh, YouTube. I pay for YouTube subscription, and it just went up $2. I knew it was coming. So, but I just wanted to pop on here. Um, so I was listening to Jared, and one of the followers or subs on his channel, like that I talk to a lot. We have a lot in common. Um, her username is Danielle from Hell. She actually has a channel. Um, her dog Leo, or the dog she's sitting for, because she does dog sitting, is in the emergency vet, and they're doing he had an emergency, so they're working on him. So I was wanting to leave it on just to see, to make sure he's okay. She said they're doing blood work. They were like working on him, like CPR working on him. But now they're doing some blood work. So I just kind of wanted to keep an eye. Oh, okay. So it is a dog that she's dog sitting for. And she said the client's not upset. Thank God. This is like the 15th time I've sat for him. He's probably a senior dog. Sounds like a senior dog. But that's typical that they go, like a couple of my mom's dogs passed while she was like, on a trip, and somebody was watching. I'm family member. He's staying with family members, you know. Um, it said, she said, poor Leo. He barfed and then seemed to be doing better, but when he wouldn't eat dinner, I got nervous. So her client is so sweet. She's like, I'm so sorry you're having to deal with this. I'm like, so sorry. I'm like, I'm so sorry that this is happening while you're in Europe. Oh, yeah, so they're away. And you know what? Sometimes, like I said, just even us humans, we will hang on and not die in front of our loved ones because we're afraid it's going to be too painful for them. My father tried to do that with me, and uh, so I had stepped out of the room because his nurses went in and they were doing some stuff, and I stepped out, and then they called me in because he started, and I went in, so I was there and his holding him in his last breath because he didn't want to do it. He didn't want to pass in front of me, but I had him. I had him. I held him, and Zuzi, I held too. But it sounds like they're still working on him. His name is Leo. So if anybody's watching or pops in, just say a prayer for Leo. Um, Somebody said Vinny and Julie Grant only two anchors left on court. No, she got the boot. Julie Grant's not on there. Yeah, Julie Grant is gone. What kind of dog is Leo? Leo. Let's see if she answers that. I'm glad my client isn't upset. Okay. Um, I'm not sure. This dog has a history here at the vet. He takes so many drugs, it's insane. So it's not a healthy dog. It sounds like he's probably a senior dog. Um, they are going to admit the dog into the hospital. Oof, yeah. I hope he pulls through. He's old. He's 15. Joey's 15. Mm. Uh, hang on one sec. I just want to say, hang in there. Praying for you both. But anyway, so I don't know if that's you can hear that or not. I just have it on low. Like I said, they're talking about. Oops, don't do that. What's his name? Phil Waters. Phil Waters. He's a retired detective, and Scott, who's a retired. They're on Surviving the Survivor. They used to do every Friday, but they haven't been. But he is. I don't know. He's a little weird. He's like a Trumper, and I don't even like that. A feloner, a felon supporter. But yeah, lots been happening in the last couple of days there. Activity at the correspondence there. I'm not going to talk about any of that. What I wanted to mention is that I don't know. I was thinking about because I've been attending this new church in the area. Well, it's not new, but I guess it's a new building right now. But so I've been attending that. I've been like I didn't go this Sunday because poor Cassie, her mouth was bothering her, and so at first I wasn't sure what was going on. I knew something was happening. I had an event on Saturday. I mean, I was able to, was in the building. So, um, and I have her on camera so I could see. I mean, she didn't look in distress or anything, but when I came home, something was bothering her. I knew it. Friday, something was bothering her, and then she seemed okay. And then I figured out it was her mouth. It's not inflamed or puffy. She must have bit something and it might have irritated um, her gums. So, but I had standby. I have her ibuprofen for dogs, not people ibuprofen. I said that when I was at the vet, and they're like, "Oh," and I'm like, "No, not people ibuprofen. I know better than that. It's carbofen or something. It's it's a NSAID. It's like a ibuprofen for dogs. So whatever." But I gave her one of those, and after a while, it finally kicked in. And then yesterday, I started her on a round of antibiotics. So she seems fine. She's resting comfortably, and never stopped eating. Never, you know, just she was off and she was uncomfortable, and I could sense that, and I figured out. But she's good. We got to get up early in the morning, so But I just wanted to pop in because I'm still going to do the Constitution. I'm still going to do Frederick Douglass, but I'm going to read the Constitution. Um, and I'm going to do like I did last time because we talked about Section 10. And I read that Section 10, and then I actually kind of broke it down in layman's terms. So I'm going to continue to do that because I really want to have an understanding of it and a true understanding of it because it was written in Old English. I don't even know how these. I know there are constitutional like academics uh, and on in the in administrations, and there are people who know the Constitution, but we should all really have a basic understanding, like we have a minimal understanding of the Constitution, like extremely minimal, but we should have like a really deep understanding of the Constitution. So when my next book, blah, 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 my next book club meeting, um, I, I mean, my last book club meeting, I said I started the Constitution, but I was talking about the narrative of Frederick Douglass. So the next one, I'm going to um, talk more about the Constitution and talk more about like exactly like what I've learned in layman's terms and encourage people to really read it. Like, just download it and read it or borrow it at the library and get a real understanding of it, because, you know, like we're leaving these people up in DC, uh, in charge, and they don't know shit. Like they're screwing us all up, all of them. So we better get a really good understanding of the Constitution because we're really going to need it. We're down here on the ground level, and if there's like some kind of, I don't want to be, and I'm not going to say hyperbolic because anytime you say hyperbolic, I'm not being hyperbolic. You're being hyperbolic. Like I hear like a lot of the, you know, independent media people. I'm not being hyperbolic, but you are being hyperbolic. So, but I mean, we really should have understand in case anything breaks out. In case people like things start really like falling apart. I mean, they're already falling apart in my eyes, but whatever. But so I want to talk about that. I also want to talk about Mary, Virgin Mary, um, what my beliefs are and my understanding of who she is, how important and how um, this one woman, and she was not a woman, she was probably 12, anywhere from 11 to 14 years old when she gave birth to Jesus. Most likely 12, because that was the age of the most common age of puberty. And once that hit, then you were sent off and married off and had kids. How clever and how brilliant and how ingenious this girl uh, was, and how she changed the face of the Bible. And I believe that deep down to my soul that this one woman, girl, woman, outsmarted and set us on what should, and the teachings of Jesus are out there, and people are actually getting are actually not using the Bible to control the masses. They are actually there's movement of the actual purpose of the teachings of Jesus, which is love, forgiveness, acceptance, and inclusiveness. Um, and God is not to be feared. God is love, and so there's a shift I'm seeing. Like, you know, I'm seeing shifts, and that was the purpose. And who taught him that, and who showed him the way was his mother. And I have a whole thought process about it, and I've had it like for like maybe all of my life. I never vocalized it or talked about it out loud because it's like blasphemous, really. I mean, it would be considered blasphemous, but I have my ideas, and I spoke it out loud. What did I speak it out loud to? I don't know if I wrote it down. I don't know. Maybe somebody in my family. I don't know. But I talked to somebody the other day about it, and they were like, because everybody's stepping away from the churches and stuff. Um, I was just reading a church, 225 years old. They're closing the doors. 235 years old. Churches are closing left and right. Attendance is down to nothing. Um, However, some of these churches, like the one that I've been starting to attend, it's very minimal. It's not all this pomp and circumstance and coldness and distance. Like the Catholic Church needs to step into the 21st century. I love Pope Leo. Pope Francis cracked the door, especially when he started talking about accepting the LGBTQ communities, and about the acceptance, and the love towards them, and the acceptance towards. So he cracked the door. He got pushback, but he cracked the door. That's why he had Leo on his list to succeed him, succeed him, succeed. Um, So he cracked the door. Pope Leo's from Chicago. He's busting that door down, busting it down, because he just came right out the other day and said that about the acceptance and the uh, the the need for inclusiveness for the LGBTQ community and more. So he is going to bring you, we need to be brought, because these Catholic masses, there's nobody there. Nobody sits next to each other. Nobody talks to anybody. The priest and everybody is standing there all stoic and distant and cold, and not like there's no warmth, there's no welcoming. It's just we're here and we're just it's just very robotic, and they're not they're just going to fade away. And you go to the other tree, the other branches of the Catholic, so the Episcopalians, so they're more accepting. So they have female priests, and and even though they'll do the same mass, the same service, you know, um, what do you call it? They just do the service in order, the order of service, but they're inclusive in the service. They're welcoming. They're warm. They're accepting. They connect with you. Catholic Church, they're just like, I mean, I've been to masses out, other masses. Like there was a church I went to in Florida, St. Augustine's. Father Joey, he was from New York. He would do the whole ceremony, the whole church thing, um, but he made sure that whatever his sermon for the day, or whatever the scriptures were for the day, he tied it into everyday life. He like made sure he tied, so he was making it layman's terms. He was trying to make it relatable. So So what he did was he was fencing it. So he was following the rules of the Catholic service, Mass, but he was bringing in modern day happenings. And he was doing it in such a way that everybody loved his Mass. It was packed. But because the Catholic Church is so rigid and so, ugh, um, so they have got to, they have got to, they're going to, you know, they're going to disappear because you have all these other branches of church, they may, and they're picking up, but they're actually getting away from the rigidness and the stoicness and the distance and the pomp and circumstance. They're just like, no, that's not working. It's about God. It's about love, forgiveness, acceptance, help, no matter what you're going through. So I'd like to talk more about that. But yes, I've been to a couple of the services. I didn't go, like I said, Sunday, but I do enjoy it. And it's very, it's kind of long. Because they include free breakfast for the people, um, and then discipleship, which is, I don't know if it's Bible. It's not Bible study. It's kind of like a group chat about the Bible, but it's a very give and take. And it's like when I went last Sunday, and it was like they were talking about something, a passage, and it was very, the pastor's wife. She was like very, like, it was like a chat, and it was very informal, and it's like, well, what about this? Did he mean, So I really enjoyed it. I would have liked to go on this Sunday, but uh, Cassie's my priority right now. Um, so I will, if everything's okay with her, next Sunday, because it is kind of a long, get there 8 o'clock for breakfast, and then 9 o'clock for discipleship, and then 10 o'clock mass, and they do not mass service, um, and they do have kind of a long service. So, geez, I think it was 4.5 hours. I got there at 8 and was home by 12:30, so that was long. But it was good. So they have Friday night service too. So sorry, I did go to that Friday. Um, so and then we meet up Tuesday night. So I'm just trying different things, and then also I did a fundraiser Saturday, and so I'm getting back out and about, getting ready to go back to school, because I was attending school. I mean, I wanted to get another degree in the art and design, art, digital art and technology. So I was working towards that, but I had to drop out because of the move. So I'm working towards getting back involved in that. And my goal is to get out in the community and teach it. But like I said, getting involved with it's a local bikers club, um, fundraising for them, because they they do a lot of outreach for children and families in need, the bikers, you know, and that's kind of what the firemen do too. My uncle, God rest his soul, he it was all about the children. Always, like, anything that they did, uh, any kind of charity they supported, it was for the children and families. So mostly for the children. Um, but yeah, I just wanted to jump in, and I think it was 4 or 5 days ago I did a video. So it looks like I'll be doing weekly videos, but I don't know. I can't even promise that. And it's like 1 o'clock in the morning. Oh, maybe it's even 2 o'clock in the morning. I don't even know. 1:30. So this will just be a replay, I guess. But let's see, what are they talking about here? Oh, Phil Waters still on. Phil Waters and Matt Johnson. Oh, that's right. He got fired from Court TV. I kind of liked Matt Johnson. He's mostly on the road reporter. Oh, here we go. There we go. And there's Jared.
I don't know the answer to that. I would have to believe that there's something.
Can you guys hear that?
It's probative of some kind, in some way.
There we go.
Or they're trying to use it to eliminate something. So that is interesting.
God, that would make me dizzy.
But you know what? There's having been involved in these types of investigations, it's a matter of, as the detective in charge of the evidence. You're the one that's in charge of this investigation. Of course, you've got your partner working with you and then other people working around doing many different things. But there's always a lead that's in charge. And he's got to make investigative decisions. What do we release to the public? What do we not release to the public?
Yeah.
What are we going to keep close to this? Because we got
Phil Waters is a Republican. Sheriff Nanos is a Democrat.
will submit to an interview.
I don't know what he's saying about him. He's like a diehard, but whatever. Not going to get into that. Oh, let me check on Danielle and Leo.
The right person who's done the wrong thing to tell them what they have had and what they have to do.
So he's really low glucose as they're getting him glucose now. Also, he might have just had like a diabetic emergency. I wonder what kind of dog he is. Dana, yes, they gave him antibiotics as well, but the thing is he's been on different antibiotics for a while now. This dog is on so many drugs. Yeah, that's not going to help him. He's probably immune to the. Talking about antibiotics, like, this is the first time. Is this the first time I ever had to give Cassie antibiotics? I think so. In the 12 years. So I got her when she was 7 months old. So a little over 12 years I have her. I've never had to give her antibiotics. Yeah, I've never. Zuzi had to get antibiotics a couple of times. But not Cassie. So this is the first time. But I think, she's resting comfortably and she never really stopped eating. She just was uncomfortable. Like I could tell. I did put some turmeric on her food because that helps with the inflammation if there is any. But yeah, so she's resting comfortably. But it is the first time she's ever been on antibiotics. But yeah, so Danielle said that, yeah, he's been on, let's see, what was she saying? What did I miss? Okay, the doctor thinks he has sepsis from his eye infection. Ooh, sepsis. Yeah, that could be dangerous, especially he's 15 years old. But if anybody pops in or hears, say a prayer for Leo. He's a 15-year-old dog that a follower on the channel that I'm following, that I'm listening to. She's a dog sitter. They're away at dog house sitter. Family's away in Europe. I'd like to do that. House sit. I could do that. Easily. I mean, well, I don't guess I could with Cassie because she would be like, she's pretty set in her ways. The only dog that she trusts was Zeus, and Zeus's gone. She didn't trust dogs because she's been attacked mostly by chihuahuas. Um, but maybe one day I might do that. Be interesting, like house sitting, because it's mostly wealthy people who will um, go away. Oh, sorry, go away for a month to Europe and whatever. I mean, I'd much prefer to go away to Europe for a month. I mean, I could take Cassie with me certain places. Like I could take her to Canada, and we can go, go places from there. They're pretty easy. France is easy to take animals to, but I don't even know if France is easy anymore to take humans because the whole uh, everybody hates us now because of you know the orange cow. But anyway, I think I'm going to get off. I just wanted to pop on and say that I'll be back with the Constitution, reading it, and then deciphering it and laying out in layman's terms what the F they're saying because, you know. And that's just a little booklet that I have of it. I don't even know where it's at. That's the little booklet. So there's all the articles, there's all the amendments. Oh, there it is. So, but like I said, we finished section 10, and so we're going to begin with Article 2 next time. So there's that. I did find my tarot cards. They were, slowly unpacking because I did get my AC in the other room hooked up, brand new AC. And oh, it's so nice. So now I can start working on putting together an art studio. That'll be nice. But I did find my tarot cards that I packed away that I hadn't seen in a while there. But I've had these cards since 1997. And I just do tarot card reading for myself. When I first got the cards, I used to do for friends and stuff, but I mostly just I do for myself and mark down my readings and stuff. So, um, yeah, there's pretty precise, and sometimes it seems like I pick a lot of the same cards. Now, I just looked at this one card. I'm going to look it up, but the Queen of Wands. I've never picked that one. Queen of Wands. So, but I had a pretty good reading the other day and pretty spot on and pretty hopeful. So, what I do is I'll bookmark it and then I'll copy, like I'll make a note page on it so I know, like, I'm going to look at it and then check and see, because I'll ask questions about, tell me what I need to know about for my highest good. Um, I'm going to do that right now. And then, what aspect of my life should I meditate on? Future, past, present, future stuff. But this one, Queen of Wands, tell me what I need to know about today's events, my partner, my child, my relative, my meeting, my dates, my class, my test, etc. For my so you. So number one, what for the card you have changed? You, Queen of Wands. Let's see. Prince of Wands. I get the Prince of Wands a lot. Six of Wands. Queen of Wands. I've never gotten that one before. you. So it's inspiration. Hmm. You need to feel inspired. Be a charismatic, self assured person. Yeah, I am so tired. Charismatic, self assured person who knows how things must be done. Behave like royalty. Oh, look, I got my crown on. Parties and other gatherings will benefit you. Find a creative project that fully occupies you, inspires others. That is so weird because I was just talking about that with someone today about how when I do my art, how, being an ADHD person, I hyper focus, and how hyper focused I can get and doing, especially my digital art, that I could sit there for hours and work on it. Um, and then also, yeah, it just, and so looking forward to getting back into that because I need that because it just takes you away because you're in the zone. You're in the zone. Anytime, the only time I've ever been in the zone in my life is through my art, whether it's theater, whether it's when I was directing, producing, creating sound design, light design. I was in like completely in the zone when I was doing the projects for my, uh, you know, whatever art I was doing, whatever medium I was doing, whether it was ceramics, um, painting, drawing, photography, glass, um, what sculpting, whatever I was doing, whenever I do any kind of art, it's the only time in my whole entire life that I just completely get in the zone. So that's so funny that I was talking about that. So I will mark that. And also be a charismatic, self-assured person who knows how to get how things must be done. And I feel that way about myself. Um, and behave like royalty. Parties and other gatherings will benefit you. So there was a gathering this Saturday that I attended, and it totally benefited me. It was a fundraiser, and we raised almost $1,000. So I got to speak to so many inspirational people at that event. So to me, it was I was going to help out the group that I just am a part of, which is helping a group that helps community things, but mostly the focus is on the bikers of the local bikers who focus on children and families. But you always forget when you do stuff like that that when you go out there to volunteer and help, and you go out and you're like, I'm going to go out so I can benefit and I can better serve them, how much you're serving yourself and benefiting yourself as well. Like that whole, you know, like reciprocal, you're not doing it to get that, you're doing it to help others, but in turn, so I met so many inspirational, intelligent, um, interesting people doing that. So that's so I am going to make a note of this reading, even though it was like off the cuff, and those are the best readings. That I'm going to make a note of that, and I'm going to keep that out there for me so I could see it because I was just discussing that. I was showing some of my art pieces, and I was going to I purchased a table where I was going to just sell some of my art pieces, but I just purchased the table and then donated the table to somebody else because then the purchase of the table was also part of the donation. But um, but the next event coming up, I will, because I know what I want to do. Um, and um, and sell some of my art pieces. And really, the art pieces I want to send, the art pieces I want to put out there and sell, are the art pieces that have Zeus. And I'm gonna probably do with my father in there too, because I want them out there in the universe. So I want to, like, forever, like Zusi will forever be out there in like in the in the out there because of my piece won first place, and it was out there on display, and it's out there, and other it touched other people, and he's out there. And so I want to do that with my pieces that for the next event that I'll sell, that'll have my his name and my father's name, and it'll be out there in the universe. So there'll always be, they won't be forgotten. So yeah, that was pretty good. So I'm going to definitely make a note of that. But anyway, I'm gonna go. Um, I gotta get up early. I have an appointment, and okay, who's he watching now? There are people still going out to Nancy Guthrie's house, like as if what? There's still people out there. They took the restrictions down for parking. People are parked out there again. Oh, wait a minute. What is going on? By the way, what exactly are we looking for? Go see blood on the front step? Unreleased footage. What? I mean, they took so long to really pick any evidence up that whatever. Anyway, gotta go. Gotta go to bed. So thanks for, watching. Um, if you do watch this on the replay, and I will talk to you all soon. And we will focus on the Constitution of the United States of America in layman's terms. And Mary, Virgin Mary at some point. Bye.